All right, good morning. You're watching Today in Parliament with me, Aishwarya Kapoor, and here are the headlines. 3 days left in ongoing budget session. Newly elected and re-elected Rajya Sabha members to take oath. 41 members had taken oath on Tuesday. Discussion on reported scams in public sector banks slated in Rajya Sabha. Short duration discussion slated in the upper house. Lok Sabha to debate alleged banking irregularities under a rule that does not entail voting. Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill, State Banks Repeal and Amendment Bill and Prevention of Corruption Amendment Bill to be moved in the Rajya Sabha. And Health Minister J.P. Nadda to move a National Medical Commission Bill 2017 in the lower house. Bill seeks to set up the National Medical Commission. Three more working days remain for the budget session of Parliament to end. Proceedings in both houses have been held up because of protests over multiple issues. Key legislations are pending as the opposition has been raising the pitch over several issues, including Andhra Pradesh's special status, Kaveri Management Board issue, among others. The government has been repeatedly assuring that it is willing to discuss all issues in both houses. No confidence motion notices by the Congress, TDP, YSR, Congress and CPIM have not been able to take up in the Lok Sabha yet by the Speaker of the House due to lack of order. And today, oath or affirmation of newly elected and re-elected members will take place in the upper house. The remaining members who have not taken oath till now will do so today. Members from Karnataka, Odisha, Rajasthan, Telangana and Uttar Pradesh will take oath. 41 newly elected and re-elected members of the Rajya Sabha took oath in the upper house on Tuesday. Among those who took oath are several union ministers, including Ravi Shankar Prasad, Prakash Javadekar, J.P. Nadda, Dharmendra Pradhan, Thawar Chand Gehlot, among others. The members were recently elected to the upper house following biennial polls to 58 seats and by-poll to 1 seat. And as discussion on banking irregularities is slated in the Rajya Sabha today, a short duration discussion is slated on reported scams in some public sector banks and the alleged failure of the banking regulators to check them. Harivansh, Rupa Ganguly and R.K. Sinha will initiate the discussion in the upper house. The issue has been on the list of the business of the Rajya Sabha since 7th of March. And in the Lok Sabha too, discussion on banking irregularities is slated to be raised by N.K. Premachandran of the Revolutionary Socialist Party and K.C. Venugopal of the Congress Party. The leaders will raise the issue of alleged systemic irregularities in the banking sector over the years and its impact on the Indian economy. The discussion will be held under Rule 193 that does not entail voting. The issue has been on the business of the lower house since 6th of March. And in the upper house today, discussion on the working of ministries will also take place. AIADMK MP A. Navneet Krishnan is slated to initiate a discussion on the working of Drinking Water and Sanitation Ministry. The members will put forth their views on the functioning of the ministry during the debate. And at the end of the debate, Union Minister Uma Bharti will give a reply. All right, my colleague Kriti Mishra is now joining us live from Parliament House complex. Kriti, 41 elected and re-elected members took oath on Tuesday, and the rest of the members, including Leader of the Rajya Sabha, Arun Jaitley, will take oath today. But other than that, there is a real chance of the second half of the budget session being a complete washout. What more can you tell us?
Well, that's right, Aishwarya. So 12 members from the states of Karnataka, Odisha, Telangana, Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh will take oath today. And as you rightly pointed out, that barely 3 days are left for the second half of the budget session. Remember, disruptions have cost Parliament more than 90% of its time in the second half of the budget session. For the entire budget session, there were around 28 bills listed in the Lok Sabha and 39 bills listed in the Rajya Sabha. In fact, today also there are important bills lined up in the Rajya Sabha, like the State Bank of India Repeal Amendment Bill, the Prevention of Corruption Corruption Amendment Bill, the Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill. Remember, the chairman has made concerted effort to end the ongoing stalemate, saying that all the issues would be allowed to discuss. He would allow all the issues to be discussed in the House under appropriate rules. In fact, the government also reached out to the opposition to break the deadlock. The opposition also on several occasions maintained that it wants discussion on all the issues, yet the disruptions continued. Today also chances of a reconciliation look uncertain. Aishwarya?
Absolutely. And Rajya Sabha yesterday only transacted business for 37 minutes. So we'll have to see how much will transact business today. And speaking about Lok Sabha, Kriti, we saw the question hour also becoming the victim of disruptions. And with the Tuesday being the 19th consecutive day when the disruptions hit the first hour of the lower house. Is there any breakthrough in sight really as far as the lower house is concerned?
Well, the logjam has prevailed in the lower house as well. In fact, the no confidence motions are also not being taken up because in the commotion, when the house is not in the order, the head count is not possible because for a no confidence motion, a support of 50 members is required. But remember, yesterday, Home Minister Rajnath Singh made a very important statement in the Lok Sabha, saying that the government is committed to the welfare of SC and ST. He also appealed to all the states to maintain peace, and he also said that the government took a legal opinion, took prompt action, and also filed a review petition in the Supreme Court. So today also there's important business lined up in the Lok Sabha as well. For instance, there's a Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill to confiscate the asset of absconders who defraud the financial institutions and flee the country. So certainly very important business in the Lok Sabha as well, but it remains to be seen how it pans out in the lower house. Aishwarya?
Right, Kriti. Thank you so much for all those details there. And Finance Minister Arun Jaitley will move the State Bank's Repeal and Amendment Bill 2017 in the Rajya Sabha today. The bill seeks to repeal the State Bank of India Subsidiary Banks Act 1959, the State Bank of Hyderabad Act 1956 and amend the State Bank of India Act 1955. It also aims to make a rational use of resources made available by the merger of these banks, leading to a reduction in costs and increase in bank profits. The Lok Sabha has already passed this bill. And Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari will move the Motor Vehicles Amendment Bill 2017 in the upper house. The bill amends the Motor Vehicles Act 1988 to address issues such as third-party insurance, regulation of taxi aggregators and road safety. Now, the bill is important due to radical changes in the law, which is as old as 30 years. It proposes high penalties for various traffic offences, a 3-year jail for the parents of minors drivers causing fatal accidents, and a 10-fold increase in the compensation for the families of accident victims. And also in the Rajya Sabha today, Jitendra Singh will move the Prevention of Corruption Amendment Bill 2013. This bill seeks to amend the Prevention of Corruption Act 1988. The bill makes specific provisions related to giving a bribe to a public servant and giving a bribe by a commercial organization. The bill modifies the definitions and penalties for offences related to taking a bribe, being a habitual offender and also abetting an offence. Powers and procedures for the attachment and forfeiture of the property of the public servants who have been accused of corruption have been introduced in this bill. And Finance Minister Arun Jaitley will move the Fugitive Economic Offenders Bill 2018 in the Lok Sabha. The bill provides for measures to deter fugitive economic offenders from evading the process of law in India. And the aim of the bill is to tighten the noose on economic offenders and defaulters who flee India. The bill will empower the government to confiscate any property owned by such a person in India. The proposed law will be applicable in cases where the value of offences is over 100 crore rupees. The bill also aims to help banks and other financial institutions to achieve higher recovery from financial defaults committed by such fugitive economic offenders. Also in the Lok Sabha today, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley will also move the Chit Funds Amendment Bill 2018 in the lower house. This bill seeks to further amend the Chit Funds Act of 1982. The bill seeks to use the word fraternity fund under the 1982 Act for a chit business. This seeks to distinguish it from prize chits, which are banned under a separate law. Currently, the Act does not apply to any chit started before it was enacted and any chit where the amount is less than 100 rupees. The bill removes the limit of 100 rupees and allows the state governments to specify the base amount over which the provisions of the Act will apply. And some of the other bills in the Lok Sabha include HRD Minister Prakash Javadekar will move the National Council for Teacher Education Amendment Bill 2017. This bill seeks to amend the National Council for Teacher Education Act of 1993. Also, JP Nadda will move the National Medical Commission Bill 2017 in the lower house. This bill seeks to provide for a medical education system that ensures availability of adequate and high-quality medical professionals in the country. Last week, the Union Cabinet had approved amendments to the NMC bill, including removing the contentious provision of a bridge course, which would have allowed the practitioners of alternative medicine to pursue allopathy. The amendments also include approval to the final MBBS examination to be held as a common exam throughout the country. This exam would also serve as the exit test for candidates to get a license. And that's it in this edition of Today in Parliament. Do stay tuned. The proceedings of the Upper House are going to begin in a while. Thanks for watching.